Here I am sneaking in. I'm running my own camera, so I have to go back there and turn it on and then sneak around to my place here. This is Dr. Thomas Klin coming to you from Raleigh, North Carolina. And I'm going to start my little timer here. I try to keep it to 10 minutes, which generally I can do. The National Pain Council is doing a lot of research on debunking the entire mess about opiates causing destruction of society and craziness and whatever else is being claimed. But there's not a lot of agencies and groups of doctors that agree to this. The main group is the CDC under the direction of Deborah Horry and Thomas Frieden previously. The physicians for responsible opioid prescribing, as described by one FDA official as the lunatic fringe. And then we have the DEA, a dedicated federal drug police force to rid the country of opioids, because the more opiate pain medicine that's out there, the more junkies are going to be created. They have the wrong information. That's not true. So today we want to have questions, and we've had some questions sent in. You can send questions in to be answered on the air here by emailing us at nationalpaincouncil@gmail.com, and you can go to our website by just plugging in National Pain Council, nothing special. And we need donations. We are behind in our work of publishing things because we have a shortage of editors. We have professionals putting together the information, but then we need good editors that can tell a good story with that information. So I encourage you to send in questions, which we will answer. And I have a couple of questions that were sent in. One of the questions was about the PDMP, which is the prescription drug monitoring program that was set up at Brandeis University under a grant from the DEA. Whether or not you can fix things that are wrong on your record and view your record. Physicians go and they press a button and they see your whole history of narcotic and controlled substance prescriptions. It was supposedly set up so that doctors could go see if their patients were getting medicines from other people. That's kind of like police surveillance, you know. But anyway, and it's required in some states. The PDMP, the question was, how do you get to see your PDMP? And there's this cumbersome sending in a mail. Oh yes, you can see it. You send us a letter, and then, you know. So what they're doing is hiding it. So this is something to talk to your state legislators about. If this contains your confidential medical information, you need to have access to it immediately. And you need to be notified when anyone accesses your confidential information, unless they can hold in their hand a written release from you. Now, people will try to twist your arm and say, oh no, this is automatic, you're signing. Nope. And you go into a hospital and they want you to sign things. Nope. I'm not going to sign any of that, because that gives you access to my confidential medical records. And as we mentioned before, confidentiality of medical information started with Hippocrates, 400 BC. So the answer is no, they don't make it easy. The same thing with the HIPAA law. HIPAA is the medical privacy law. It was started by President Bush, second Bush, after the 9/11. And what they wanted was for the government to be able to get into all medical records and somehow ferret out terrorists. How do you do that? How can you pick up a terrorist on medical records? So what they did is they created this privacy law that's really a law to get into your medical records without letting you know. So they can access your medical records without you knowing. They don't have to notify you. They don't have to notify they've been in there. So how do you correct errors on your medical record? Same process. You go and you can get forms from HIPAA to change the process. Now, we would like to have some volunteers help us at the National Pain Council to figure out a way to set up legislative rules about how people can view their own medical records. Your medical records belong to you. Your doctor has a responsibility of maintaining them. Legally, the records and the content of the records are yours. Hippocrates was right. Confidentiality of medical records has been around for 2,600 years, and it's being violated right and left with lots of excuses, generally related to law enforcement, allowing law enforcement to get into your records. Since the PDMP was created under a grant from the DEA, signed by Dr. Andrew Kolodny and a fellow named Kreiner, forget his first name, at the Heller School at Brandeis University, those people are responsible for this police surveillance and allowing people to get into your records. So privacy is a big issue. The PDMP, believe it or not, at the computers, wherever they are, set up by Brandeis University, will issue unsolicited reports to the police. Sounds like the Stasi. Okay, I had another question. How much pain medicine does it take to put me in risk of dying? This is actually a simple thing, because if you have too much opiate in your bloodstream, you'll act drunk. This is wonderful. It's a real simple a sign. So if you are taking medicine and you are not acting inebriated or falling asleep, you're getting the right amount. Again, as we said before, no matter how much, it's not how much you put in your mouth, it's what you end up with in your bloodstream. And this drug is extremely variable. I know a fellow that takes 1,000 milligrams of morphine 3 times a day, and I know one of my old patients took 10 milligrams 4 times a day. Both of them got pain relief. Presumably both of them had the same blood levels. Let's see. This is one about cytokines. Cytokines reflect inflammation. Inflammation is part of your immune system, and it's good, normally, unless it gets out of control. And yes, you can order cytokine panels. Your doctor can order cytokine panels, and it will show the relationship between pro and anti-inflammatory cytokines. And that's a good way to diagnose systemic inflammatory disease, whether it be intractable disease or whether it be autoimmune disease. It doesn't really matter. This is total body inflammation. Inflammation causes pain. Sadly, you would think if you just relieve the inflammation, the pain will go away. It doesn't work that way. The inflammation is much too massive. It helps, and as we mentioned, opiate pain medicine are both painkillers and anti-inflammatory agents. What a wonderful drug. You couldn't design a drug that's better than this. The drugs are safe. They're not going to damage your kidneys or your heart or your blood vessels like NSAIDs do, like Tylenol does and Motrin. You can take these for your whole life. It doesn't interfere with your cognition. It's safe to drive. They're not going to kill you. You're a normal person now with less pain and inflammation. And ironically, this has become a pariah. Treating people in pain with the only agent approved by the FDA for severe pain, the opiates, is a pariah? Pariah treating people in pain? Who are these people? Lunatic fringe, as Dr. Peter Pitts, former assistant commissioner at FDA, put it. So that's it for this evening, and hopefully next time we'll have more questions from people. If you just email us at nationalpancouncil@gmail.com.